Hey, this is Sully for Antisocial News, and this is the Body Count Report for Friday, November the 17th, 2017. And I'm going to take you around the world showing you life or death news stories and following up on other life or death news stories that I covered earlier this week. This is the Friday show, so stay tuned where I'm going to tell you about the Lighten-Up link, which you need to help you get to the weekend sane. Also, we got some incredible victorious stories because, as I like to point out, the body count's not always just innocent people dying, it's also bad guys dying. And which means there's some really cool victorious stories about military and police around the world fighting bad guys. So stay tuned. We are going to start with a follow-up to the Sunni versus Shia conflict. We have King Salman bin Abdulaziz stepping down as king to take a more laid-back title as the leader of the shrines. And he basically was in the middle of a huge proxy war just earlier this week with the Shia population. This is a picture on the right of Iran's President Hassan Rouhani, and that's King Salman bin Abdulaziz on the left, otherwise known as the Raging Bull by Kuwait because of his hard-line and rabble-rousing tactics that almost got the Middle East into a giant conflict. Check that out. Read about Israel being used as a proxy weapon against the Shia. Very, very weird to see that written out so plainly in Ynet News. But thank you for the reporting, Ynet News. Now to a story out of Jerusalem Post. Iraqi forces recapture last Islamic State held town. Hua. Awesome story. Islamic State, bunch of a-holes, but boy, did it bring people together to go kick their asses. So check this story out. Read about the final toll that it took on the area and what it took to kick Daesh out of there. And then we have a couple stories linked off this. If you didn't just like the victory story here, there's a couple heartwarming stories linked right off of it. So you got a awesome positive, and then you got a heartwarming positive. Israel offers aid to Iran and Iraq in earthquake aftermath, and Miss Israel and Miss Iraq overcome diplomatic barrier on Instagram. Two nice stories, warm your heart, make you feel good. Hot damn, we got some cool stuff today. Indian Special Forces in Israel to train with IDF's most elite units. So check out this Jerusalem Post reporting on here too. We got a video for you in this link. You're going to go click on that. You're going to go to the link list in the description of this video, and you're going to click the link, and you're going to go check out this awesome video from Jerusalem Post. Moving on to another Ynet News article about a story that could have been a lot worse. We have terrorist wounds 2 and vehicular attack. Okay. So check out the video here. Picture of the terrorist Az al-Din Kraja. And tiny little vehicle used here. This is one of the victims, David Ramadi. Glad to see him giving the thumbs up, but man, could you imagine? I really wanted to cover this story just because since there was no fatality of the victims, this story would have easily gotten overlooked. But this is another vehicular terrorist attack. And even though nobody died, it's still one that needs to be noted and put there right in the list. If you're making a list of those vehicular terrorist attacks, this one goes in there. Moving along, we have another story of victory. I think these are almost all victory awesome stories today. I'm pretty psyched. This guy right here. Nothing Guatemala can do to this guy is as bad as what this guy deserves. He is a murderer for MS-13. So yes, they captured him, and they're gonna get some justice out of him. So hope they do their worst. Teach those MS-13 scumbags that they're not welcome on this planet. Mugabe makes academic public appearance. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention that this was Prensa Libre reporting out of Guatemala. AfricaNews.com. Mugabe makes academic public appearance first since army takeover. Basically, this kind of looks like Mugabe in Zimbabwe was old and had essentially a peaceful military coup. So check it out. Check this story out. And then Africa News noticed a similarity to other stories where leaders had been kicked out of office, and they linked to an older article called Backdoor Exit, African President Forced Out of Power. So check this story out. Very good reporting from AfricaNews.com. Thank you so much. Moving on to Times of India. We have another story of peace and people working it out, which is just as important to the survival of the species as a strong defense, is diplomacy. And India and China hold first border talks post-Doklam. So learn about Doklam, learn about the India-China border dispute. So you're going to learn a lot from Times of India. They're always good at breaking things down and presenting a lot of hyperlinks to other articles and other timeline elements to stories. And can I just point out how awesome this picture is? I mean, look at these guys here. Look at the Chinese soldier with his hat. Looks like a drill sergeant. Looks like a drill sergeant's hat. The Indian soldier with his camo there, not the tighter digicam, and a more unique hat. I love the difference in the contrast in this picture. It's so cool. And I love the thought of these guys working it out, because this is one of the scariest conflicts in the world that was going on all this year was China versus India, because those are the two largest populations on the planet, the two most populated countries in the world. That's our species we're talking about here. We're talking about the human race. That is where most of our species in the universe is in this guy with the cowboy hat and this guy with the old school camo in their countries. That's where most of us humans live. So when you think about that, you realize those two countries fighting is a horrifying concept. You want to talk about a mass casualty situation that could have been devastating to our species. So the thought of them working it out is what this channel and what this series is all about. And this is a pretty cool victory story. And I gotta say, Manila Times, I want you to go read this, because Manila Times does a great job of breaking things down. No pretty pictures for you. They just put it out, and you can't help but have sort of a Coen Brothers film in your head as you read it. So this is a pretty wacky story about a failed ambush and the police shooting an assassin. Learn about the all the moving parts. Very short story, but man, if it doesn't paint a little movie in your head, you might need to check your pulse. Okay, this has been Sully for Antisocial News, and that's the Body Count Report for Friday, November the 17th, 2017. I have a few lighten up links for you today. We have Lord Keck, which is a dank meme compilation channel on YouTube. It is something that I just watch and laugh my brains out. Some of the memes are just really funny, really bizarre. And then a lot of them I just have no clue what's going on, and that for some reason makes me laugh too. So if you're like me, you'll get a kick out of this link. Also, bonus, I've also got a link in there to Big Man Tyrone's channel, the happiest channel on YouTube. He is currently selling Keckmas t-shirts. Very funny delivery. I love his commercials. And have to thank Big Man Tyrone for the support as well. Also, shout out to the podcast who supports us on Patreon, and their channel and videos. Please check out the link list in the description of this video and lighten up. It's been a crazy week, and that's why I've given you so many awesome stories of victory and some links to help you lighten up and chill out and relax and just have a blast this weekend. And I want everybody to stay safe. Cheers.